An idea, a concept, a plan, a dream. That's how businesses start. With the help of the U.S. Small Business Administration, businesses across the nation can confidently start, grow, expand, and recover. SBA, empowering small businesses, empowering the American dream.
Senior Area Manager for the SBA in Southern Maine. The SBA is a federal agency tasked to assist entrepreneurs and small businesses start, grow, expand, and recover, making small business our business. This is the first of hopefully several informative small business segments. Today we'll be talking about the SBA Emerging Leaders Program. Emerging Leaders is a 6 to 7 month long program for established businesses to be able to create and implement a 3-year growth plan. Joining us is our returning instructor, small business champion, Anne-Marie Swenson, Joel Gilbert, owner of Berry Fruit Farm, Matt Brackley, owner of Brackley Electric, and Jeff Messer, owner of Messer Truck Equipment. In true Emerging Leaders fashion, we'll start off with our graduates giving us their elevator pitches. If you would, please.
Sure. I'm Joel Gilbert. I'm from Berry Fruit Farm. I own the farm with my wife, Melissa, and we combine homemade and homegrown products to create a wholesome, fun environment for our customers. At our farm, we grow apples, we grow strawberries and raspberries, cherries and peaches, and those are available for you pick. At our store, which is open year-round, we have a full bakery and a whole preserve line and all kinds of other Maine products as well. You can find more about us at berryfruitfarm.com.
Matt.
Hello, I'm Matt with Brackley Electric. We're a full-service electrical contractor. We specialize in industrial and marine projects throughout North America. We're currently working in Maine, Florida, and also Mississippi. We also have a residential and light commercial business segment in the Mid-Coast Maine area. We're located in West Bath. And we really attribute our success to our team. We have a great team of electricians, of staff personnel, and also to our data management systems. We're very invested in tracking our data and using it to predict where we're going to go and how to price jobs. And it's made us to be very efficient, and customers like the communication we're able to provide. If you want to learn more about us, you can go to bracklyelectric.com, and we'd love to help you with your electrical projects.
Excellent. Jeff.
Well, a pleasure to be here. My name is Jeff Messer. I'm the president and owner of Messer Truck Equipment. We have locations in Westbrook and South Portland. And a lot of people have no idea what truck equipment is. And so you may see a dump truck riding down the turnpike, you may see a cargo van at a construction site. Most people think that Ford or GM are actually installing that equipment on those chassis or in those cargo vans. And actually that's not true. They just build base chassis or empty cargo vans. That's where Messer Truck Equipment steps in. We represent 40 different manufacturers of truck equipment that we can then take and install on those cab chassis or in the back of cargo vans to make usable tools for those contractors, electricians, landscapers, or municipalities. We like to think that we can create more efficiencies and solutions for those companies. So for over 120 years, we've been providing those solutions to help those vocational industries do their jobs better and more efficiently. So we are also on the web. We can find at messertruckequipment.com, and we'd love to be able to offer some solutions for all your truck and equipment needs.
Excellent. Thank you. Anne-Marie, please tell us about yourself and your experiences.
Sure. Great elevator pitches, guys. Nice to see you and hear them. I am the SBA Emerging Leaders Instructor, but by day I currently am the CFO at Thornton Academy here in Saco. And my background is pretty diverse. Prior to that, I spent 15 years in commercial banking, started out as a credit analyst crunching numbers behind the scenes to recommend loans for approval or decline. And by the time I finished up there, spent the last several years leading a team of commercial lenders who worked with businesses throughout the state of Maine with borrowing needs up to $2 million. Prior to that, I worked at the Maine State Department of Economic and Community Development for a couple of years. And prior to that, I owned my own business. It was a homemade super premium ice cream shop in Portland with wholesale and retail customers that I started from scratch and grew to a successful business. And prior to that, I spent about 9 years as a financial analyst for some large corporations like General Electric, Budget Rent-A-Car, and Genzyme. And my goal as instructor in the program is to distill my experience from all of those roles into what is hopefully insight that's helpful to the business owners to advance their companies to the next level, whatever they hope that is.
Excellent. Thank you very much. This is your third year as our instructor.
Yes.
What keeps making you want to come back to continue helping small businesses in Maine?
The biggest driver is just my personal passion to help small businesses, and being a recovering entrepreneur myself, and knowing that I had a lot of assistance when I was getting my business off the ground and growing it. I thrive on giving something back there, and it's really satisfying to watch all of you advance to the next level, and just hearing the success stories that you've had since we last saw each other a few months ago is really exciting and really rewarding for me. I also think that the SBA Emerging Leaders Program is something unique, and I find it to be a very worthwhile and valuable program, and I hope the three of you will share stories to that effect today too. But it's partly personal passion, Brad, and partly just belief that this is a really great program, and we need to get it out there to help move that economic development needle in Maine.
So not to put you on the spot, but when you were talking, it made me think, after selling your ice cream shop, why not go into another entrepreneurial type business?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do what you did rather than taking on the challenge of another business?
Good question, Brad. One, I needed some time to I needed some time to recover. But also, when I was deciding to exit the ice cream business, I really did a lot of soul searching and had to reinvent myself. And I had always been either the woman who wanted to have an ice cream shop or the woman who had an ice cream shop. And so when I really looked at what I wanted to do next, I said, I want to help other people open and grow their businesses so that their dreams can come true the way mine had. And that has taken a few different, iterations. Some at again, the State Department of Economic and Community Development. Certainly was able to work with a lot of businesses in my role at the bank. And again, when I was deciding not to stay in the banking world, did that again, wanted to do something different, took the CFO role at Thornton Academy, but also adding on this role as instructor of SBA Emerging Leaders is how I continue in that role. Partly, I do some other things too on my own.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate all your assistance in putting in the vast knowledge you have towards the Emerging Leaders Program. You've been a great asset so far.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Brad. My pleasure.
The point of this session really is to promote the recruitment of this year's program. So to be eligible for the program, businesses have to have at least 3 years of business or more, annual revenues of at least $250,000 or more, at least one other employee other than the owner, and the participant must be a decision maker for the business. Only 20 small businesses will be selected for this incredible program. So
I think you left out the biggest piece, at least for me,
Yeah.
because I'm super cheap. It was free.
yeah,
That's right.
it is.
Subsidized by SBA as well as some corporate partners, correct?
Exactly. It's a completely free program that can tremendously help your business get to that next level. Thanks for pointing that out. Appreciate it. Anne-Marie, can you tell us a little bit more about the program from the instructor's point of view?
Sure, I think you just hit on the highlights, and it is very important that the businesses meet that criteria, as all of you now having been through it. It may be free in terms of money, but it certainly requires a great investment on your part in terms of time and energy. But I also hope that you find that the benefits that you're reaping from that investment are paying back in multiples what you've put in. The program is really fairly simple, I think. As you said, Brad, it runs 6 months. There are 13 in-class sessions where we meet for 3-hour classes. Between those 13 sessions, though, which meet approximately every other week, the participants meet in smaller groups, as you all know, that we call CEO mentoring groups, to work together to share experiences and maybe overcome challenges, best practices that you've learned, and to work on some of the assignments. And then in addition to that, we have a number of guest experts that come into the classroom during the program: attorneys, accountants, bankers, marketing specialists, some others, procurement officers, to really give the business owners hands-on help in whatever it is that you're tackling. And another key component I find, and several of you, I think all of you actually took advantage of this, is that some portion of the participants are able to actually do a presentation on their business to the other classmates and get feedback not only from the other business owners but from guest experts as well. So I think there's a lot of help, a lot of working together. I know one of the things that we hear is a primary takeaway, and again would love to hear the three of you respond to this, is really that one of the biggest values is the information that they get from each other, and knowing, one, that you're not alone in facing the things that you see every day running a business,
for sure.
but having that shared experience, regardless of industry, regardless of stage. There's an awful lot of commonality between businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would speak to that. When you were talking and you mentioned the CEO mentoring groups, for me that was the greatest benefit, to be able to spend that time with people that have like-sized businesses and have the same challenges and opportunities that we all have. And it sometimes is lonely at the top. You don't have a lot of resources to go reach out and ask these questions of, and you can't ask of your employees because it's a different situation. And so to be able to go to another business owner and ask those questions is hugely beneficial. So I really enjoyed that time, and making new connections and building your network throughout Maine was great as well.
I thought that was a good point. Networking, I come from a more rural part of Maine, and so it was really great to be able to network with these guys and just increase that whole connection. I think that I feel supported even though I'm out of the class. I still know that I could reach out to any of these guys and be able to get answers, and because we've shared a lot together, and so I think it's always wonderful to network even more, and I think future students would find that just one of the greatest benefits.
No, it's incredible how much the challenges that you face as a business owner. I'm an electrician. You sell truck equipment. You run a farm, right? It's still amazing to see how many of the things that we talked about in class, as far as employees and human resources, we all have those problems. We all have those rewards. But looking at how you've dealt with challenges as opposed to how Jeff has dealt with challenges gives me ideas for how I'm going to deal with my challenges, which I certainly have. No, although the program was free, there was so much value, and one of the biggest values was the introductions to peers.
That's great.
I think the point that Anne-Marie had made too on the time commitment, I think up front you need to realize that you should be at every class and participate in everything, because without that, even though there is no cash exchanged, you've got to invest that time or you're going to get nothing out of the program. We saw some people that had to drop out because their business issues or other things happening there that they couldn't commit to that time, and I think it's a loss to them that they weren't able to kind of take it through the graduation.
Yeah. So with that, to point out a little bit more, the commitment required for this class is between 94 and over 100 hours of your time. That's spread out over 6 to 7 months, but that's still a lot of time that you are working on your business opposed to in your business. So part of that we learned in the class, or I learned even sitting in the back of the class, was that you need to learn to delegate, be able to give up some of your your authority and trust in some of your employees to be able to take some of those responsibilities so that you're able to continue on and work on your business, be a part of this program, go to those CEO or mentor groups and stuff. Are there any other things that really stood out from those sessions that you can draw on that you still remember today?
I think that pre-emerging leaders, I think I had a certain view of business, perhaps, that worked somewhat okay to get me to where I was, but I feel like there was a paradigm shift that happened, and I feel like those mentoring sessions helped to shift my thinking to what I thought was impossible to what is possible. And, frankly, now I'm getting ready to go to vacation in Florida for 2 weeks, and
Wow,
something that
that's
would
awesome.
seem almost impossible to do before now becomes possible because of those delegation, because of the commitment, but also because of those around us and those mentoring groups just encouraging to grow. Just keep plugging away one step at a time.
Most definitely. Anything else to add?
Yeah, no, it's interesting you bring up the delegation piece because I felt like that was either in the first or second class. So it's a good one to learn so that you can then delegate to allow yourself more time to focus on working on the business. And I had made a conscious decision prior to getting involved in the Emerging Leaders of working on the business rather than in the business, and trying to free up more of my time to the point where I was trying to work from home 1 or 2 days a week. Had named a general manager to focus more on the day-to-day to really allow me time for that strategic piece, because a lot of times you're too worried about putting out fires and stuck in the day-to-day that you can't really see where the business is going or where you want it to go. And Emerging Leaders definitely emphasized that and helped secure that in my mind, how important it is.
Yeah, most definitely.
Go ahead.
Oh, no.
I was just going to say, in terms of the instructor viewpoint, Brad, you touched on it, but the primary goal at the end of the program is for each of the business owners to walk away with that very detailed 3-year strategic action growth plan. And throughout the program, the participants submit 4 different drafts to me. So it's an iterative process, and I'm giving feedback, and they're making changes and learning more. And when we look at the very specific tasks and goals that people have along the way, one of my very favorite things is when I see people who I know haven't had a vacation in a long, long time put in that they're going to take a vacation. So I love hearing these stories. That is one true measure of success.
Yeah, definitely. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I relate to what you were saying. I felt like I had a picture before I started the class of where I wanted my business to be. But I felt like I was just inundated with all of these different tasks that had to happen to get there. And the class, as you talked about, you make that first growth plan, and you get all the feedback from your CEO group, from the instructors, and from the class, and then you refine that a little bit more. When I left, I felt like I had a very clear path that I could execute to actually get to where I wanted to go. Right? It just provided a structure for sometimes the chaos of having a small business, right? And it shows you where you can't get all of these things done unless if you can delegate, unless if you can bring in some people to help you. That's advice that I took early in the program, and it's allowed me to accomplish a lot of my 3-year growth plan in an amount of time that I never could have thought that I could have accomplished so much. And we did it as a team. It was great.
That is, yeah. That's one of the things that I really, stuck with, that I took to heart on that, being able to delegate, because a small business owner, they're running everything. As all of you know, you're wearing all the hats. You're doing everything, especially when you get started. It's just you a lot of times, or just you and your spouse or somebody within your family or something like that. And you steadily grow, and as you grow, you have to pass off some of those hats. And it was great to see all of you be able to take that to heart and really move forward with that.
It's a hard thing to do financially, emotionally, to let go like that. but the encouragement to do it and the examples, the real life examples that we looked at of other business owners and stuff, you realize over the course of the class that inevitably you have to if you want to scale your business, right? You have to. Then you do it and it's like, oh wow, it really works, right?
That's the beauty of the Emerging Leaders Program too, is that you touch all those different hats that small business owners wear, from sales and marketing to the financial piece to the HR piece, and then to the strategic planning and how to get to the next level. So I was impressed with how thorough it was as far as each of the different modules that you went through.
Yeah, and like you were saying, it feels risky to delegate, and
Scary.
part of that is building your own trust within your employees by allowing them a little bit of a little bit more responsibility and letting them build on that stuff. So that's great. Joel mentioned that you're able to go on a vacation.
Yeah.
Has the program assisted in the growth of your business in other ways for either of you two?
Absolutely. For me, I think great of our expansion into Columbus, Ohio. And so we had an idea we wanted to grow as a company, but then going through this program really gave me the tools to identify kind of the things that I didn't know that went into starting up a completely new business. And so this is completely greenfield in Columbus. We found a location, we found a branch manager, and then just built the business from there. And so we've just taken over the space, and we hope to go live May 1st. And so it's exciting. Like Matt was saying, it's all happening very quickly, but without Emerging Leaders, I don't think we would have had a lot of those skills, or certainly we didn't know what questions to even ask. So yeah, it's been hugely beneficial for that.
Excellent. Excellent. So, Anne-Marie, we discussed a little bit on the variety of industries of the participants from the last couple of years. Is there any specific industry that the program is better for, or should a business owner in a certain industry look at being in the program?
I don't think there's a specific industry so much, and it's not even a specific stage of business. I think, as Jeff said, one of the things we looked at early on is just having people self-identify what stage is your business at in terms of that continuum. But I do think it's very important that businesses meet the criteria that the program has set out in terms of being in business at least 3 years, having some meaningful level of revenue. $250,000 is the benchmark that the SBA looks for. And it is so critically important that they have employees in addition to the owners, so that the owners can come out and spend this time in the classroom with the mentoring groups on the homework assignment. So I would say it's not so industry specific, but it is important that this program is not for startups. It's for businesses that have proven concept. They've gone through that stage, and again, are trying to get to the next level, whatever that may be for them. One thing I'd like to comment on that I think sets Emerging Leaders apart, and the three participants here have alluded to it, is that when we're in the classroom, and you said it too, Brad, you're not at your business, but you're working on your business. And the program is not filled, as you all know, with a whole bunch of theoretical case studies where we then solve someone else's problem. In the program, we learn about things like how to interpret your financial statements, looking at your target customers, your competition. And so we learn concepts, but then the participants take that and apply it to their businesses as the homework, as the classwork, and as part of that growth plan. And my role really as instructor is really just more facilitator. I think we start most sessions with me teaching some concept, but the rest of it is just me facilitating conversation between all of these wonderfully accomplished business owners who, again, are sharing their experiences, how they overcame challenges, and maybe even throwing out a challenge that you still haven't overcome, and seeking input from others who have walked in those shoes. So I think that sets the program apart.
That made the time commitment to be a lot more palatable to me, right? Because every week I felt as though my business was moving forward in very meaningful ways, right? But because we were working on our business every week, it really encouraged me to stick with the program and see it all the way through and take the time to do the assignments, because I could see my business changing for the better in a positive way.
Yeah, there was no busy work there. You weren't just doing homework for the sake of homework. It was all business focused, so very worthwhile.
Yeah. And Matt, you had several changes within your business, the name. You changed your business name a couple of different times.
Yes. We'd had some ownership changes and stuff that we were working through. It was a lot to handle, and without a lot of the structure of the class and just showing, areas where we needed to improve and really assessing where we were at, as well as where we wanted to go. Since the classes ended, we've added 12 employees, 12 full-time employees.
Nice.
6 of those are minorities, which is incredible for our company. We've brought in a lot of diversity. We've expanded out of state, as I talked about, and we had the segment on government contracting and anchor institutions, right? We had a lot of the tools to go after that kind of work, and it really encouraged me. I was able to do the presentation for that segment, which was awesome. It really helped me prepare and organize my company, and we were able to bid a lot of work in that arena, and we've just got a contract recently that is probably 4 or 5 times our revenue for 2019 that we'll accomplish this year.
Nice.
It really helped to focus and to maximize on our strengths.
Nice. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Wonderful.
That's great.
One of the criteria too that I think, that I think is good for a student in this program is that if they come to the table wanting to learn, in one of our mentoring groups, I remember just saying, I'm a lifelong learner. And I think that if a student comes to the program wanting to address issues and be real, you're going to get a lot out of it, and I found that as I was able to be real and lay down my struggles, those things were definitely, it's like the burden was lessened because we were able to look at it and dissect it, fix it, and now implement it.
Yeah. At the very beginning, before, in session 1 or actually before, all the participants sign agreements that they don't share any information that goes on within there, so everybody can feel comfortable with talking about their financial statements, talking about problems that they've had within their businesses, which makes it a lot easier for everybody to open up and get that out there, because the more you open up, like you say, the more feedback and more valuable information you'll be able to take and apply to your business.
Because honestly, if no business had any problems and they're just killing it, they're not going to be there anyways because they've already got it figured out and they're going to just keep their special sauce and make millions of dollars. But
Jeff,
The
I
rest of
suspect
us-
there are no businesses that don't have any problems.
exactly. That was my point, is that everyone there, doesn't have it all figured out. They've got questions, and everyone else in the class can be a resource to help people through that. So I think it's great discussion.
So, what are some things a business owner should do to prepare for session 1 before the program gets started? Because all of you kind of just got thrown into the wolves when you first showed up. You didn't really know what to expect. And what would you put out there to somebody who's applying, what to expect, how to prepare?
The first thing that came to mind is look at your calendar. So build your business schedule around that calendar. You're pretty good. You had all the dates out in front of you so you could do long-term planning for the next 6 months. And lock those in place, lock them in stone so that a business commitment doesn't push you out of that class. Stuff comes up, we understand that, but I think being able to plan out the calendar, work with your coworkers, your employees to make sure that they can cover things while you're gone so that you can spend the time focusing on your business and on that class and really committing to that time.
From my experience, one thing that I wish that I had done before I started the class is just had my financials in a little bit tighter order and a little bit more up to date. I feel like I could have got a lot more out of the class if I had been at that point and had been more of an analytical stage rather than a catching up on bookkeeping stage. I think that would help people hire a bookkeeper, get up to date, and be ready on day 1. It was something that we were able to fix during the course of the class, and And we keep very up to date now as a result of it, one of the many successes. But I do think I personally could have got more out of the class if I had been a little more prepared financially.
I think that somebody should come to the class expecting to get a wealth of knowledge, and that you're going to work on things, but you're also going to have a great toolbox to take into the future too. So like, there are a lot of concepts that I want to implement, as every year goes by, and just go deeper and deeper and deeper into, more knowledge about this. So revisiting the material. So I think what I'd just say in short is that a student should come expecting. It's a great adventure. Yep.
Excellent. Anything you would like to add to?
I think, again, our 3 real-world participants just summed it up perfectly. The only other thing that I might add is just be open for change, right? You might decide you need to change something that you thought had to be a certain way. So just back to the lifelong learning and being open to make changes with the new knowledge that you'll have.
Excellent.
It's interesting you say that, because I remember one point of discussion, I won't name names, but this individual had tried to hire a CPA and it didn't work out. And so I think in her mind, no, I'm not going to go down that path. But when she laid everything out, the whole group was like, no, you need to hire a CPA. That's what you need to do. And so if you've got 20 people telling you to do something and you're open to that change, you're open to taking that input, it's obviously clear to everyone else, but not clear to you. So you've got blinders on, you're open to enacting that change. It'll be very beneficial.
That's right. I remember that class in particular. At one point, it seemed almost like an intervention, wasn't it?
And she ended up hiring a CPA.
I believe.
Actually out of state that was going to be working remotely for her too, yes.
Well, hopefully it worked out.
And also during the program, we have subject matter experts that came in different various sessions, from bankers, resource partners, lawyers, CPAs, and even procurement officers.
Sure.
How do they help the participants in this program?
I guess actually I would refer it to Joel.
I'll
Matt,
jump
and
in on
Jeff.
that one
Yeah.
because when the state procurement officer was there, she asked, who has reached out to their CPO? I didn't even know what a CPO was, chief procurement officer. And we do quite a bit of business with the state of Maine as far as building work trucks for Central Fleet and some DOT. And so I said, I have no idea what a CPO is or never reached out. She's like, well, I'm your CPO. You probably should set up a meeting with me. All right, it's a valid point. And so I've conversed with her several times, and we've yet to have a sit down, only because you can't do that while you're actively bidding state contracts, which we've bid a bunch this winter. And so, but going forward, I hope to meet, and I think it was great contact for us to know that person even existed, and then how that whole bidding process really works from the state standpoint, because we only knew it from one viewpoint. So for us, that was the best contact, was to meet her.
Excellent.
For me, it was great to talk to him in an informal setting, right? It's one thing to go into a bank and talk to a loan officer when you need the money, right? It's another thing to sit down and talk to him and say, when businesses approach you looking for money in a hypothetical situation, what are you looking for, right? And the same with accountants and with the lawyers and the procurement officers. It was just nice to talk to them in a no pressure, informal setting and to get that candid feedback, so that you could prepare yourself in your business for future interactions when it really mattered.
Yeah,
Right.
very good point. Yeah. And was it both of you that presented during that session as well?
It was,
You
yep,
did,
yep.
That's true, we did, same day.
You had the university was represented, as well as the state of Maine. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
It was.
And then I believe other participants in the program too that didn't present that day saw their eyes opened a little bit on how they might be able to turn around and sell to the government on different levels, or those anchor institutions that are across Maine as well, which really, really helps too. It opens up those other revenues of that you could start selling, since Maine is very seasonal, as we all found
I
out.
think a lot of the folks involved in food, whether it be chocolate or fruit, I know you can speak to that, Joel.
Yeah.
Had some epiphanies around that.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Just opportunities. I think that's what was really great about sitting down with these people, is just opportunities, whether it's opportunities to lend or learning how to lend better, or whether it be with the chief procurement officer, which was definitely a highlight. But I wanted to also highlight that I got introduced to my SCORE mentor there. And I'll tell you what, that was really great, because it just piggybacked right off from this program. And we're just talking usually on a bi-weekly basis, and just continuing the progression of doing good business. And so SCORE and their involvement with this program was just fantastic.
That's a great lead into
That is
two things
great.
I wanted to point out. One, with our resource partners being available to help all small businesses and entrepreneurs, whether they're in this program or not, starting or getting ready to sell their business. The resource partners are there to help and be ready anytime you have a question to sit down and talk with you. Bring in subject matter experts to help you put that marketing plan together, or whatever it is that you're facing within your business. The other is the National Small Business Week Awards that we do every year, first week of May. And Joel Gilbert of Berry Fruit Farm is the SBA Maine Jeffrey Bootland Family-Owned Small Business Person of the Year for 2020.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very well deserved.
Congratulations. You were nominated by your SCORE mentor as well. That's another advantage of having an advisor or a mentor through our resource partners, that being part of the Emerging Leaders Program, being a part of utilizing the resource partners or other programs that we have, you can self-nominate and you can be nominated by these different organizations. Even lenders, if you had an SBA guaranteed loan, you can be nominated for these types of awards that help give you the recognition you deserve for all the hard work that you've been doing within your business, and become successful as well. So congratulations to Joel. Very, very well deserved.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about the SCORE program? So I've heard of it, but some people at home may not have. And I guess, how did you get involved, and what's been the benefit?
Sure, yeah. Through Emerging Leaders, and one of the first few sessions, I think we had SCORE, or kind of peppered throughout, we had SCORE mentors there in the sessions. And so I reached out to one that kind of resonated well with me, hoping that I'd get to receive him as my mentor. And sure enough, that's how it came about. We sat down, and he's just a great wealth of knowledge, and it's good because he's got a lot of wisdom. And if he doesn't know something, he's got a whole network of people that spread over so many other areas that. I got in touch with a lawyer about trademarks. I got in touch with a loan officer who loaned to farms, all out of this one mentor who I have. It's a free service to businesses, and there's a lot of challenge in business, things that we might feel work against us, even on a daily basis, but there are a lot of things working for us. And I think if we can just get out there and receive that, and Emerging Leaders is one great one, SCORE is another great one too, and that I'm still receiving from. So I think that that's kind of how I got started, and I'm glad to say that it hasn't ended, because it just keeps going, and we just keep talking. And
Your farm's in Livermore.
yes.
And your SCORE mentor is actually, I believe, out of Old Orchard Beach, or somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
And do you guys meet in person, or do you email, or
Yeah.
how do you do most of your communications?
It works really great. Just most of it is all on phone, phone calls. That's how we do it. Though we have met at our farm, so he came up and got introduced to what we're doing up there, the atmosphere, the company culture, all of that kind of stuff. So he So he's very connected to our company, but it also makes it really flexible for us because we don't have to travel anywhere. We can just make a phone call.
Excellent.
And it saves time, it saves money, it saves gas. You know.
You convinced me. I got to reach out and get a score.
Yeah, me as well.
And again, as Jeff points out, like the Emerging Leader Program is free. All of our resource partners, their advising and their mentorship is completely free of charge.
Yeah.
They also hold workshops, and the majority of the workshops that SCORE holds, for instance, they do 100 a year or more, and they're all free with the exception of a QuickBooks class. It's like $100 for a 2-day, 3-hour session or 2 3-hour sessions for $100 doing QuickBooks, where they bring somebody in to do that. And Anne-Marie, you used to be or currently are a SCORE mentor as well.
Yeah, so I'm actually a SCORE resource mentor, and I teach a class there on how to do the financial projections for your business plan. But it's a great plug, Joel, because going from SBA Emerging Leaders, SCORE is a great sort of continuing ed partner. And as Brad said, they have free classes on all kinds of topics. You can connect with a full-time mentor, and then there are a lot of people like me who serve as resource mentors who just come in when there's a question or a need in a certain field. But if it has to do with business, SCORE has you covered. So it's a great resource partner.
And the Portland SCORE chapter that Anne-Marie volunteers for, that your mentor volunteers for, was the 2019 SCORE Chapter of the Year nationwide.
Wow.
So, as you know firsthand, and as you perform for them as well, they do just a wealth of great things for small businesses in the communities. Other resource partners are the Small Business Development Centers. There's 14 advisors across the state for them. There's also the Women's Business Center, and we have representatives for the Veteran Business Outreach Centers as well here in Maine. They're located regionally in Rhode Island, but they have a couple of contractors up in this area too.
Nice.
Other than that, is there anything about the program or even about where you are in your business now that you would like to talk about?
I would share the networking piece, so staying in contact with the other folks in our group. It doesn't end when the class is over and you graduate. Continuing to have discussions and to be able to share resources or even do business together has been a benefit of that too. So it's not like this is a 6 months and it's done. These are friendships that will continue on, as well as relationships, and it's been great to be involved in.
Excellent.
That's certainly proven true for me as well. We've done business both directions with multiple people in the group. After you spend 100 or so hours with people and you get to know them and feel their passion for their business, it just establishes a lot of mutual respect, and you see the value in what they're doing and you want to be a part of it.
Looking forward to Emerging Leaders 2.0. Yep, so
Excellent.
so when that comes, just let us know.
You'll have to help us develop it, Joel.
There we go.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah.
How to no longer be small.
Right, yeah.
Did you have anything you want to add as well?
I would just encourage anyone who's interested to apply. We are recruiting now. The class is scheduled to start again in late April. It will be nearby. We hope to have a full class with the maximum number of people taking advantage of this opportunity. So, and it's such a pleasure to see the three of you again and hear the great success that you've been having, continued success you've been having, and I just look forward to following that.
I think it's pretty amazing if you look at a small sample size with the three of us are all either bought land or grown other locations and expanded. So the growth
Hired
plan.
more employees.
Yeah, hired more employees. The growth plans are working. So this is
do.
only 6 months to a year into the growth plan, and they're already happening. So testament of the program.
Well, and congratulations to all of you. Also a testament to some really hard work.
Yeah,
thank you.
most definitely.
Thanks.
So thank you for joining me today. The SBA and our resource partners are available to help you start, grow, expand, recover your businesses, because small business is our business. We are here to assist you.
plan, a dream. That's how businesses start. With the help of the U.S. Small Business Administration, businesses transform from a home office to a global operation, a double oven setup to a 6-person bakery, concept to manufacturing, and from contemplating closure to not just surviving, but thriving. That's the power of the SBA. We make small business our business by being an ally, an advocate, a mentor, a coach, an educator, a friend to ambitious and passionate entrepreneurs. And we're igniting change, sparking action, so businesses across the nation can confidently start, grow, expand, and recover. SBA, empowering small businesses, empowering the American dream.